You already know what time it is. It's that official time. Where we take this worldwide. Let's go. Listen. So now it's time to turn it up. Surf the radio waves as we begin to burn it up. We all up in your area like landscape, definitely bringing you the power pancakes. It's a mandate that you tune in. It's time to move out so we can move in and recognize that this is no illusion. I'm here to clear the air so that there is no confusion. It all started off in the book of Genesis when Jacob was wrestling with who he thought was his nemesis. And when the man saw he couldn't overpower him, he touched his hip but he really couldn't devour him. And from that point then we hear a name change, rearrange the game, so now we gotta change lanes. So I'm here to let you know it's time to listen to the Pancake and Power Slam show. Let's go! Turn it up, it's the Pancake and Power Slam. Turn it up, it's the Pancake and Power Slam. Turn it up, it's the Pancake and Power Slam show. Turn it up, it's the Pancake and Power Slam. Turn it up, it's the Pancake and Power Slam. Turn it up, it's the Pancake and Power Slam show. Turn it up.
What's going on, everybody? Dr. Chris Featherstone is here, baby. Live and living, killing and funky like a monkey, if you will, baby. Yeah, no, that's not right. There we go. What's going on, PNP Nation? How y'all doing? How y'all doing, PNP Nation? Another day at the ranch. Another day having fun. Another fun time. Fun time. Let's see. Let's see. I'm sending a link to. Okay, there we go. Okay. Sending links. Was asked how can I tune in? PNP Nation, what's going on? How y'all doing today? I'm going to answer these PNP Nation questions starting now. Chris is in the building. What's up, my man? Elvis is asking, what are your thoughts about Big Blue Michigan? I think, hey, listen, man. Listen, I am totally fine with admitting something, with stating the facts, baby. With stating the facts, baby. I'm fine with stating the facts, baby. Michigan is one of the hottest teams up in the college football right now, baby. That's what it is. Regardless of me being an Ohio State fan, as you can see right here, Ohio State banner. Regardless of that being the case, baby, I gotta give credit where credit is due, baby, and say that Michigan is one of the hottest teams in college football right now because they're live and living color, baby, if you will. Yes, this could be their year, man. And Hassan Haskins is a monster. Aiden Hutchinson he might win the Heisman because I mean the latter part of the college football season he was killing it against Ohio State, against Iowa. He showed that he's a Heisman candidate, and he made the finals. And C.J. Stroud also made the finals too. He'll be going to New York. So Bryce Young, which they'll probably give it to. Although I think Aiden Hutchinson has a better argument than Bryce Young. But, they love their Alabama. So I wouldn't be surprised they gave it to Bryce Young. So, but yeah, I mean, our defense, we have a better offense than Michigan. I'll say to this day, I'll say it loud and proud. Ohio State has a better offense than Michigan. We got out coached on the defensive side. We defensively, we were not good. I mean, we were terrible. Our rush defense was horrible, absolutely atrocious, like embarrassing. Excuse me, to allow someone to score 5 touchdowns against you, you should be ashamed of yourself as a defensive play caller. Period. So disappointed with that. So disappointed. So, we deserve, I mean, we took that L. And bottom line, we took the L. And I got a good feeling there's going to be some changes when it comes to defense, Ohio State. Kerry Coombs, I don't see him staying. I don't see Matt Barnes staying either. Matt Barnes isn't a bad coach, but I think he needs better reps. He needs more reps in smaller schools because coming right out the gate to, take over Kerry Coombs and basically take over the defensive play calling at the winningest team as far as percentage wise, the winningest team in college football history. That's some big shoes to fill for a 35-year-old, basically defensive play caller who needs more reps. I could even see Matt Barnes being a head coach. I could see him putting some reps in at a smaller school like a Vanderbilt or East Carolina or, something like that. Maybe like a Kansas or something like that, even like a Tennessee, semi-reputable. So yeah, I mean, I can see Matt Barnes taking a head coach spot, but not for Ohio State as far as defensive coaching is concerned. That was terrible. There's so much I can talk about that, but let's answer the rest of these Ask Dr. Chris questions. Do you think the Titans will make it to the Super Bowl? Unfortunately, I don't see it. I hope. I'm a Titans fan. I hope. But AJ Brown in and out of being injured. And Derrick Henry's gone. So don't see it. What's up, Ricky? What happened to Manny Fernandez? Have you interviewed him before? I have not interviewed Manny Fernandez before. I was actually looking forward to it. He sent me a message at 9:01. Truly sorry, but I have an emergency that I have to tend to. I can't explain. Can I explain now? Can I explain now? I will tell you later, is what he said. Okay. So yeah, hope things are better. Nope. This is it was the second time I've interviewed Eric Watts. Well, I think of War Games, which is a really good segue to the topic of at hand today. I didn't watch it, and I just don't. I mean, I have the availability, I have the ability, I have Peacock, so I have the ability to watch War Games if I want to. I just don't want to. I don't have any desire to watch War Games, man. Come on. I don't have a desire to watch War Games. I'm just not into NXT. I've said this before on the show. There's just something about NXT that just doesn't tickle my fancy. I mean, I used to like NXT. NXT used to be my second favorite show to watch behind SmackDown. Now I don't even watch it. I'll make like I knew that NXT 2.0 won the War Games matches, because they wanted to put them over. But I mean, you got the original NXT, who really can't get along. I don't care. I mean, why do I care? There's nothing about it that I care about. I'm not really. I mean, I like the fact that they decided to put Mandy Rose and have her have a stable and have all them win titles. Because I watched Halloween Havoc, it was okay. Now it's just like for me, it's just I'm mostly watching the pay-per-views. Like I'll follow it on Instagram and see what's going on. I don't even know how Carmelo, Carmelo. I don't even know how he turned heel. I remember he was a babyface and he beats Swerve. Won the North American Championship because he won. He was able to cash in something, right? And from what I'm seeing on Instagram, he's a heel now. So don't know how that happened. I don't know. Speaking of it, North American champions, I did see Jonah Bronson Reed. I did see him smash Josh Alexander on Impact. So came in as a heel. That's interesting. Why is Reigns' gauntlet red? It should be blue because he's on SmackDown. That would make sense. Chris is asking, how's my back doing? I think I saw that you had another procedure done. Am I wrong? I actually am going to rehab again. My 7th stint of rehab started last Thursday was the beginning of my rehab. It's not doing very good right now. It's sore, so I'll probably be on here for another 20 to 30, so I can get some rest. So fill me up with some hashtag Ask Dr. Chris questions, and yeah, let's do this. So I'm gonna get some rest afterwards. It's 10 bell salutes from Raw. Raw was beyond awful last night. Raw was horrible. Raw was horrible. It was horrible. It's just there's nothing about Raw that intrigues me. It was absolutely horrible. I would be embarrassed to even present that, and it actually, being approved. Just horrible. Just absolutely horrible, man. Terrible. James is asking what I think of the Miz mentioning the time he got kicked out of the locker room because he dropped chicken. I thought it was interesting because it's Benoit who kicked him out. That is interesting, James. That's an interesting observation there that Benoit was the one. But a lot of people don't know that story. It's been spread around for a while now. They got kicked out, but a lot of people aren't familiar that it was Benoit. I mean, it added, you know, with the Miz and Edge. I'm not opposed to it. I'm not opposed to the match. You know, it gives both of them something to do. But yeah, okay. I mean, really, okay. You know, yeah, okay. So yeah, I mean, it hypes up day one, but okay. Reigns versus Lesnar, Uso versus New Day again, or yeah, over and over and over and over and over and over. What's up, Aaron? Aaron's in the building. What's up? Hashtag Ask Dr. Chris. Um, Dion's asking, just watching the True Story. The Royal Rumble is good. The truth. I want to know, how do they really draw numbers for order in the Rumble? I've interviewed some people have told me that before. When I've interviewed Chris Masters, he said something about it before. When I've interviewed Rico Constantino, he said something about that before. It's not. I mean, they draw people, and it's just one big booking of a match. Goes to show that I'm tired. Yeah, so I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to see. Trying to figure out where. I'm sure there. Okay, here we go. Rico says this. I interviewed him January of 2020, so almost 2 years ago. I need to bring Rico back on the show. It's been almost 2 years. All right, this is what he said. He said, first you have the production meeting with Vince and all the agents. Wait a minute. I actually wrote this. Well, there you go. Let me go ahead and bring this up here. I actually wrote this here. Very interesting. There you go. Well, look at what do we got over here? All right, here we go. Royal Rumble match is certainly one that has to click on every cylinder. Otherwise, there could be results that could force an audible in the booking heading into WrestleMania. Regardless of whether someone is winning or just in the match, every superstar is essentially painting the puzzle, who concludes with the winning, looking strong as the new number one contender for the world title. So, how is this 30-minute match constructed? Former tag team champion Rico Constantino was the latest guest on Pancakes and Power Slam show and explained how the Royal Rumble match is put together. Rico, who participated in the 2004 Royal Rumble, was eliminated by Randy Orton after only lasting a little over 1 minute. Still, Rico had a part to play in the point of the match as a whole, as he explained the role of wrestlers in the Royal Rumble match. First, you have the production meeting with Vince and all the agents, and they set up the show and stuff like that. And they're already picked the 30 people. And you have your main players, you work backwards from the winner back. And you have your main characters, the superstars, and you have the people who are main players. Some feud, they do the heel face thing. And then you have, I guess, your background or your spice. We were like just the flavor, just the add-ins, and I was just one of the add-ins. And an agent gets down there. I don't know if it was Arn Anderson or Pat Patterson. But after the meeting, we all gather in the arena around the ring. We're all in one section, and they're talking about what's going to happen and what's going on. So the main players get all their spots and stuff like that. Then they just stuff the people in the certain spots, and they say, "Well, we're going to come in on. You're going to be number 16. You're going to go in there, and Randy Orton's going to eliminate you, and this is how he's going to eliminate you." So now you've already got who and how. So you're going to go in there. Now you're going to make sure you don't want any contact with Orton prior to that, because then you're going to be fighting, and you get how much time you're going to be in there. A minute, minute and a half, 2 minutes. Some people longer. Some people eliminate other people, but it has to fall into place. Rico added, the Rumble goes off cues and spots and stuff like that. When this spot happens, they're in the Gorilla Box. Vince is up there. Okay, go. Bing, here goes this one. Okay, this is that one. The ref has the thing in his ear, and they're shouting from the back to the ref to tell. Okay, he eliminates him. He eliminates, go tell him, go tell him, go tell them. In case people forgot, it's 30 people. It's a constant. Everything is constantly in motion. You just can't stop. So buzzer sound, here I come. You look so good to me. Music hits. And so I go running in. So I get there. As I'm running, I look where Orton is, and I go to the opposite side, and I can't remember what I did. If I did the jumping enziguri or the step over, look at my butt kick, and, I did a couple of things. And then Randy and I got together, did a couple things, boom, boom, boom. And then over I went, and that was that. And then you just go. I mean, that sounds simple, but you've always got to think of somebody else's spot before you and then after you. And you always got to think of all of a sudden someone messes up or someone gets injured, gets hurt the hard way, You got to think on the fly and make up for it. Listen, wonder if Randy got hurt. What if he hit his head and got knocked out or something? Who's going to eliminate me? But I have to be gone. Wonder if he is missing the spot. I can't go up there and say, hey, you were supposed to eliminate me. Leave Edge alone. What are you doing? All the other parts add up to the big part. Randy Orton, who was the second entrance in the Royal Rumble, lasted over 30 minutes. And eliminated a total of 5 people. Other than Rico, he eliminated Booker T, Rikishi, Shelton Benjamin, and Ernest Miller. He was eliminated by Mick Foley, who eliminated himself after going on the top rope with Orton. There you go. It's a piece I wrote a little less than 2 years ago. I've been basically retired from writing since then. Although I'll be having a announcement coming up soon. Yep. Stay tuned. So that's that, James. That's how the Royal Rumble is done. What other? Hashtag Ask Dr. Chris. Have I told Evan about his Ravens? No, Evan actually messaged me to. I mean, Evan messages me. I talk to Evan almost daily. So he just asks me how. He checks on me all the time. Good guy. I was in a different location for your Raw review last night. Yes, I was in my office, my actual office, my doctor's office. So I changed, as I explained at the beginning and last week here. So I had a company. My family had a company as far as who our internet was through. And so we had them for a while. The connection to my office was just fine. All right. But the connection everywhere around the house was just atrocious. And we had this company for a long time. So what we did, we said, okay, we'll screw it. We're going to get another company. And then we're going to look for more economical options, but still high speed, because I'm a podcaster. I work from home. Well, I have an office that I work for as a doctor. I also work from home. I work from home. I do multiple podcasts a week and research weekly. I use my computer like crazy. So I need high-speed internet. So we thought that the switch was going to do it, and then what they did was they had what happened was it was just horrible. It was what we switched to was worse than where we came from. So it actually helped there, like everybody else's TVs and stuff like that. But as far as my office is concerned, it was so slow because it was just all predicated on that one Wi-Fi connection, and it's not good to live stream using Wi-Fi. It's not good at all to live stream using Wi-Fi. So it was real bad, glitchy, freezing. It was horrible. And as a podcaster, someone who is really, really focused on doing things professionally, I was so upset. And so yeah, it was horrible. And so I was like, you know what? They were supposed to, so we switched over to another one. I was like, I gotta get it hardwired. I gotta get back to the old school, way to do it. So to keep my connection fast, because I work from home. I make money doing all of this. You know what I mean? So I need fast internet. So I ended up calling some places last week, and we found one that could do the job. They said that they were supposed to come after a couple of days. And then they were like, okay, we can come on Tuesday. I was like, well, I have my podcast on Monday, so I'm going to have to go to my work internet, which isn't much better than how my home internet was, but it wasn't as bad as how it's been over the past 3 weeks. So today, got the brand new internet, and it works fine. Speed's good, and I'm back. No more glitching, no more freezing. The bouncies are back, ready to rock and roll. There we go. Yeah. All good again. Thank you, Ricky. I'm glad you got your internet sorted. Absolutely. And then Dez comes in and says, "Go Blue." As far as that's concerned, Dez, go Bearcats. Aaron's asking, do you think WWE could let Liv win last night and lose at day one because having Becky hold the belt to Mania is so long and boring? Yeah, Becky as champ is just like, I'm not a fan. I'm hoping that Bianca Belair beats her. To come up from SummerSlam, it would just make sense that Bianca Belair would beat her. I wouldn't have been opposed if Liv won. Actually, I wouldn't have been opposed to it. It's time for Becky to drop that belt. Yeah, it's not a big fan. Ask Dr. Chris. Aaron says they kill NXT. Tom Clark in the building. It was the strongest brand they had, and now it's not even a blip on my radar. Yeah, I agree, Tom. I mean, it's just I was a big fan of NXT. I was a big fan of NXT. I mean, I really enjoyed the NXT product. This NXT 2.0 stuff, and the thing is, I try to watch wrestling. Like I have Peacock. Like I pay monthly to watch wrestling. And I have Hulu. I watch NXT on Hulu. And I'm paying a bunch of money a month to watch Hulu. And so I want to get my money's worth. And I can watch NXT. I just choose not to. And I have a list of things to watch. I do cardio a half hour daily, like intense cardio at the beginning of my workouts every day. And so I'm ready to rock. I mean, tomorrow when I do cardio in the morning, I'm going to have something to watch. I'm going to choose a list of things to watch for 30 minutes. And unfortunately, NXT is not one of them. I just don't. I'm not into NXT. There's just a missing element. There's no star power. There's just nothing that's intriguing enough for me to come back. I like Ciampa. I like I mean, I like Braun Breaker. I like what they're doing with Mandy Rose. Well deserved. She's been putting a lot of time in, dyed her hair, got her stable. All that's cool. But it is certainly a Homer brand. There's no star power there really. Bring it. They brought Johnny Gargano back. I like Gargano, but it just feels like the old guard. They just that whole War Games feel kind of had that old guard feel to it, and yeah, it's just not there for me. Just not there for me. I agree. I mean, should have left NXT as it was. And if there's a Braun Breaker or a Toxic Attraction, all of them could have been just fine in the NXT that we were used to seeing. I mean, like they would have been just fine assimilating in that, especially on Mandy Rose. I mean, we know Mandy Rose, so her assimilating NXT, Braun Breaker assimilating NXT would have been just fine. But they were. I mean, did they overhaul to improve numbers? No, there's not improvement. War Games better than Survivor Series. I mean, Survivor Series had no build up to anything. The Charlotte versus Becky War Games had at least a few weeks of build up. I think Survivor Series was terrible. I mean, I say this all the time when it comes to Survivor Series season. I think it is probably one of the worst pay-per-views of the year. Is the worst Big Four pay-per-view of the year. I mean, it's meaningless. Every single time Survivor Series passes, it proves my point every single time. It is an absolute meaningless pay-per-view. I don't care about brand supremacy. There's no stakes. There's nothing going for it. There's no reason for it. You're literally having two main eventers who can't afford a loss, especially a Big E this year. Can't afford a loss. Drew McIntyre to Roman Reigns last year couldn't afford a loss. It just makes the creative who already have a bad issue with not making stars and pushing people up. Big E losing the match? Why? I mean, why? Just to go into a feud with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Pointless. Absolutely pointless. Do the brand traditional matches, put feuds together, put stakes if you want. I mean, like, you can really do something with the Survivor Series like they did traditionally. But whoever came up with this bragging rights 2.0 stuff just needs to be suspended or something. Just horrible. Tap Out Talk is asking, last week we talked about Mount Rushmore of wrestling. What would be your Mount Rushmore bad gimmicks? I would say probably Saba Simba. That was the most racist gimmick in WWE with Tony Atlas. WWE's been notorious for a couple, but Saba Simba was horrible. Never got into Bastion Booger. I thought Norman the Lunatic in WCW was a better idea. Bastion Booger was horrible. I was going to say the first four I can think of. The Ding Dongs, probably, because that was horrible. I couldn't even get pinned. And I remember Jim Neidhart when he was Who in a mask. His name was Who. And it just... What do you like? I just don't understand when people bring someone into a promotion and they're paying their money. Like, you're literally paying your money for someone to fail. That's bad business. That's a bad investment. You're putting your money in someone who was absolutely destined to fail. Now you can do like a cost benefit analysis and say, okay, well, I'll spend money on this because I know I'm going to make money on this thing. Like, you're spending money on an enhancement talent, paying them $250 a pop, even if it's now $1,000 a pop. regardless of what it is, you're paying relatively pennies on a dollar of what they make to make someone look good. Okay, well that's a good return on investment. But to spring in people with the like just to have them fail, like the 50 plus, 60 plus people they released this year. I mean, all of that money down the tank. All the money down the tank. I think it bumped from a 1.58 or something like that to 1.7 when the first time Vince was on there. But that's still abysmal. Absolutely abysmal. Let me find out. They jumped like 150,000 maybe. So let's see. They went down. So it went from a 1.58 to a 1.7. So yeah, like I said, about 150,000 difference. And then last week's Raw, when they did the Vince thing, it dropped to over 20,000. So it went to a 1.67. So like you're doing 1.5s, 1.7, 1.6. Before 8th of November was 1.5, 1.68, 1.65, 1.59, 1.58. I mean, yikes, man. They haven't had over 2 million since August the 23rd. That was over 3 months ago. That's the last time they saw 2 million. And before that, the last time I saw 2 million was the Raw after Mania, April the 12th. I think the Legends episode of Raw was the last one, January 4th. So out of a year, it's 3 weeks left in the year. 1, 2, 3 times they've got over 2 million viewers. 3 times in 1 year they've got over 3 million viewers. That is sad. Sad. Do I think the Rock's going to come back? So I don't see it. I hear him versus Roman at Mania. I can see Rock Roman in Cali next year. I can see also Rock headlining, or not next year, but 23. I can also see Rock headlining the 23 Royal Rumble. I think I might save Rock Reigns for 23, for 39. It would be right. We just had 37. So, yeah. Yeah, very interesting. Very interesting. Do I see Rock Reigns for next year for 22 for the rest of, for 2022? I can, but I don't. Right now, they're talking Drew, triple threat, Drew, Brock, and Reigns. Reigns versus Lesnar again, because WWE is so bad with making their talent look good and booking their talent correctly that they have to go to the Legends well, and that's what they're doing with Brock Lesnar. Oh my gosh. Yes, definitely thousands. The Inquisitor alone. Nice right for the Inquisitor. Let's see. The Inquisitor, last one I wrote was May 14th, 2020. Let's see. I think at that time I was like 600 or so. And I was only writing for the Inquisitor for, I think I wrote a year and a half there. Sportskeeda. I wrote like 300 or 400 articles for Bleacher Report too. I gotta find out. I gotta find out these profiles. I know it was over 500 for the Inquisitor, 128 for Sportskeeda. Bleacher Report. Also, I've written for Sports Illustrated, so that's that as well. As far as my Bleacher Report profile, I've got a muck rack. Interesting. Very, very interesting. 1266 it says here. And that's with just one. Fan Buzz. Oh, yeah, that's right. I wrote a bunch on Fan Buzz, too. I keep seeing a bunch of Fan Buzz articles here. Wrote a bunch on Fan Buzz, too. So, yeah, I would say well over 1,000. Well over 1,000 articles. So, yep. Johnny's wife is pregnant. Candace Ray is pregnant. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. My pleasure. All the wrestlers you do you do research to refresh and remember about them? Good question, Ricky. Yes, I do. That's a journalist. I mean, you have to know your stuff. I mean, that's the part of being a journalist is you have to do research. I watch stuff a lot. I look at previous matches. I look at. I have a PhD, so I have a research degree. I like to research. I'm a big fan of researching. So journalism and having a PhD really work hand in hand because you have to research a lot about. You have to really look like a pro. You have to be a pro at this thing. You can't just. There's interviews and podcasts are a dime a dozen nowadays. People, they can see, and they know when you're not doing your research. You're just talking out your butt. You're doing that. That Chris Farley. You remember when you went to the ring and the music was nice? And they'll say yes, and you'll say. That was awesome. That's essentially what a lot of podcasters are doing nowadays, unfortunately. But I'm steering the ship when it comes to the interviews, and so I have to. I say this all the time as a podcaster, as a journalist who interviews people weekly. They hear interviews all the time, and so I really want to do something different. I want to be the one who stands out, and thankfully, people like Eric Watts, Eric Bischoff, Vince Russo. A lot of people have said, I stand out because I'll ask them stuff that shows one that I've been following their career and they're more prone to talk to me, and two that no one's haven't asked them before. Do I have a TV in my office at work to watch Raw? I do. So how my setup is that right now I'm looking at the screen. My webcam's right there, and then to my left I have a screen, and I have a bookshelf. I have shelves. One in the middle, got a couple more horizontal shelves, vertical shelf. All right. And then after that, I have the top of my case, and then I have a 42-inch big screen on top of the bookshelf, right here. And I use that for a third screen, and also use that to watch television when I'm doing work. That doesn't require a lot of concentration. So I'm using it as I'm working. I'm using it as a third screen. I use the big screen a lot to do graphics and all the intro stuff that you see for PNP. I use my big screen / third monitor for it, and then when I'm watching Raw, I watch it on the screen. It's a Roku TV actually, that I can use as a third monitor. So I watch it, and I'll be doing something else typically during Raw because I'm so bored. So Roman versus Drew at Mania 38. Roman, Drew, and Brock is what it's supposed to be. I am totally fine um, if Drew wins. I said that before. I think Drew should be the one to stop. Happy birthday to my daughter. Thank you, Elvis. My daughter's birthday was last Tuesday on the 30th. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Ruthless Aggression. I liked RA. I was a big fan of RA. Interesting thought there. Do I think they changed NXT so some main roster talent won't ask to go back? I can see that happening because it would basically cause them to keep the same salary that they have. But you have so many people in NXT that are making pennies on the dollar and just fine with it right now. So it is a cost-cutting measure. It is cost-effective to make NXT the way it is, but it doesn't cater to the audience as a whole. Multi's in the building. What's up? Uncle Dave reported rumors that Nick Khan might take over WWE Women's Steps Down. Hope that's not true. Man, if I'm not surprised if that happens, because I mean you're talking about the DVD sales ending next year. There's a lot of conisms that the con man is doing right now. The day one, the Saturday pay-per-views, that's a Nick Khan thing. You know, Khan was avid about pushing for Saturday pay-per-views, and that's who you got. That's what happens. Let's see what else we got. I like it. Mount Rushmore, the wrestlers that I've interviewed, and why is Black Bart number one? Well, PNP Black Bart is number one. Ooh, Mount Rushmore of people I interviewed. The people I've interviewed the most would be Marty Elias, Ken Anderson, Sean Devar, and JTG. As far as I can recall, those are and Black Bart too. I've interviewed him probably 5 or 6 times. Bill Dundee, I've interviewed him a bunch too. So I would say out of that list, I've interviewed Eric Bischoff about 4 or 5 times too. Ooh, Ice Train, I've interviewed him a bunch of times too. I've interviewed Greg Gagne a bunch. Huh. Lots of people. Lots of people. Yeah. As far as PNP, I would say Black Bart, JTG, Ken Anderson, and probably Eric Bischoff, perhaps. Beaver Cleavage. Yeah, that was a really bad gimmick. One the Headbanger Soul gimmick and it involved incest. Yes, it was a bad gimmick. I agree. That's true. Start a whole company. Ding Dongs was a tag team that had the it was an old WCW tag team. They used to be Rock and Roll Rebels, I believe. Yeah, just atrocious. Atrocious. I think the Humpbacks or something like that was a thing. They couldn't even get pinned. Um, or the yeah, I gotta remember their gimmick. It was a gimmick that actually like they couldn't even hunchbacks. That's what they were, the hunchbacks. You couldn't even pin them because they had like um like hunches on their back, and you couldn't even pin them. It's horrible. Horrible. Hate to be on creative in WWE. I would be living my dream of working hard, and here comes Vince to rip up the script. He does like, yeah, 11th hour. Just ripping the script. Just ripping the script. Who do I think is going to win the Royal Rumble? I think it's going to be for the women's. I think it's going to be Naomi. I think Naomi is going to capitalize on the stuff with Sonya Deville. And for the men, I think it's going to be Biggie. I think Biggie's going to lose to Seth Rollins at day one, and then run the Royal Rumble a few weeks later, and then vie for the title against Sethy boy. Was my favorite WWE theme song of all time. Has to be Corporate Big Boss Man's. I would go with all time. Man, there's so many good ones back in the 80s. I mean, Hogan, Real American, Pomp and Circumstance, Piper's theme. I mean, Jake's. I was a huge fan of Jake's theme. Fan of the British Bulldogs theme. Even Jive So Pro. I mean, there were so many good ones. Ultimate Warriors. Maybe Warriors. Warriors or Hogan's. One or the other. They're going digital. They want to focus more on digital. Yes, I do think Saturday Night's main event should return for one night. Absolutely. Nick Khan wants previews on Sunday because his logic, he's actually said this, his logic is that people will be traveling on the weekends. And so if it's at a Sunday night, there's a lot of people who won't come because they're not local, and they'll be already flying their plane out or getting ready to. And so they're like, hey, they're going to be touring anyways. Might as well have a pay-per-view on Saturday. WWE Nail program. So I looked into that, and it's interesting. If I feel like it would create the separation between Sports Illustrated and wrestling very clearly, with them leading an element for indie wrestlers in WWE. Give us some time. It feels like a developmental program, but I heard it was good. I heard there was a lot of potential to it. I did see the Michigan stuff. Sad to see. Edges and Ortons. Yeah, those are good. HBKs. As far as the network, everything's digital. Taker did. Yep, I agree. I liked Taker's purple and black theme. So when he came back to SummerSlam after he was gone at the Royal Rumble that year, 94, I believe it was gone from Royal Rumble, and then they had the Undertaker sightings, and then Leslie Nielsen come up from the Naked Gun and all that, and then he came back to the purple and black as primetime Brian Lee, who was the doppelganger of the Undertaker. He had the the gray and black, and so when he came back, then I liked it. It was pretty cool. Ding dongs, no. Ding dongs and hunchbacks, different. I love Jericho's theme song. Matt Hardy said something about that. Right now, it's just reports of he went home. So could it be Will o' the Wisp, which I don't see too much out of. So all right, y'all. I'm gonna head on out. I'm going to spend a little bit of time relax with my wife and relax even more. It's been I'm a busy man. I'm a very, very busy man. Um, so I'm gonna get me some rest. Okay. Eric Watson, he is there. Responding to Eric. Watts. You too, tap out. Thank you. You have a good week too. As far as that's concerned, all of you have a good week. Because I want you to do two things. Enjoy week wrestling. God bless and always remember. The third one, I'll do it for you. Have a good night, everybody. Thanks again for another great Tuesday night. PNP Days for Life. Enjoy wrestling. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. You know why? I'll do it for you. Have a good night, everybody.